Hi, I'm Matt Cope, Training Director for Kennelwood Pet Resorts, and this is another segment of Behavior Basics. Today we're going to be covering how to deal with a dog that is balking on the leash or kind of doing the mule where they don't want to go with us. So, Vega, aquí. So Vega, of course, is probably not going to refuse to go with me, but I talked a little bit about this in an earlier segment about a dog that tends to stop because we're stopping. So the first thing we want to make sure that we do whenever we're walking the dog is that we show them movement without dragging them along. And just by the way, another mistake people make is they have a tendency to put pressure on this leash before they take a step, and that's a huge mistake. I want to give a dog a nice loose leash to just walk along with me. Doesn't matter how I hold it in the pet obedience world. We can just have nice relaxed leash and just use movement to get them to come along with us. But it's very important whenever we're doing this to make sure, that's very nice, not to automatically put pressure on a dog, because then they don't know what to do. They're feeling that pressure. You can see how uncertain she is just from that leash pressure. And I don't want to have uncertainty. I want her to be very confident in what we want. Muy bien, a niña. So one of the most common things that people will do when they're walking their dog is, especially in the beginning when the dog doesn't know exactly what we want, is the dog will stop to go sniff a tree or a flower or something over off to the side. And when the dog stops, they also stop, and then they start pulling on the leash like this. And what we want to make sure, if we want our dog to come along with us, if we don't want them to stop and smell all that stuff, we have to keep our legs moving. It doesn't mean that we drag our dogs. We just give a little bitty pulse on that leash. Oh, muy bien. We just give a little bitty pulse, a little bitty kind of pop on that leash, just like that. Not much pressure. And just keep moving. That's the big key whenever you are trying to get your dog to walk along with you. Now, there are some puppies that I've seen that will absolutely just lay down on the ground and go flat. And what's really important at that point is if my dog, let's say that dog just laid down on the ground, what's really important is that I don't turn back to them and go backwards to them. I'm just gonna kind of stay where I'm at and maybe tap my leg and just get them to come up to me here. Maybe give them a little bit of a break at this point before you start moving again. But the important thing is not to go backwards whenever they refuse, because then we're just rewarding that state of mind that's telling them that they need to be worried or they need to stop in that situation, or they can stop and that stops us. I don't want them to really learn that we're gonna go back to that place of what I would, in most cases, call a fear or avoidant response. Right? So we don't need to be overly aggressive with them whenever they're unsure. Again, just to recap. So the dog is laid down and said, I'm not going anywhere. And you're now, so you can see she knows exactly what I want to do. Just by bending down, facing away, I'm not putting pressure on her by facing her. By facing away, I'm inviting her to a very comfortable position up here. Did you find? I know that's where the treats are. All right, go climb. That's a good girl. So thank you for watching this segment of Behavior Basics. And again, if you have any topics that you'd like to see covered, please contact us on social media, and hope to see you next time.